Ebe Papa, a remote and time-lost village in Nigeria, was hidden deep within thick jungles, tall green grasses, and whispering winds. There was no electricity, no roads, no schools, or hospitals. Time here was measured by the sun's light, and human screams often dissolved into the silence of the forest. But among all these fears, one thing terrified the villagers the most: an old hut. That hut was known by every tongue, Ejoma's house. But it wasn't just a house, it was the village's breath-stopping monument. A place where the night made the air tremble, where children clung to their mothers before bed, and where everyone knew, once the sun set, no one must face the hut. Ejoma, the lone occupant of the hut, was a young, stunningly beautiful girl with pale skin and large eyes. She was rarely seen in the village, but whenever she appeared, all eyes froze. Women grew envious, men fell silent, and children were frightened by her quiet smile. It was said that one day, Ejoma's mother burned to ashes inside the hut. No one saw fire, no smoke, but her screams echoed through the jungle the entire night. When the villagers entered the hut the next morning, all they found was ash and little Ejoma sitting quietly in a corner. Some said, the jinn took her mother. Others whispered, the girl is cursed. And a few even claimed, she's not human. During the day, Ejoma appeared to be innocent, quiet, with a gentle, lowered gaze. She would sit outside her hut drawing symbols in the dirt, as if in a language only she understood. Sometimes she would call a child and gently pat their head, only for the child's mother to scold and pull them away immediately. Once, the village imam warned, her touch steals children's memories. Those she nears stop speaking in their dreams. Ejoma would only smile, no anger, no tears. As if her face was just a mask. As the sun began to set and darkness slowly fell over the village, Ejoma's face would begin to change. Her eyes sparkled like trapped stars, and her voice grew honey-sweet, enough to make men's hearts race. One village boy, Obina, was infatuated with Ejoma. He often wandered near her hut, too afraid to speak. But one day, he gathered the courage and knocked on her door. The door opened on its own. Inside, it was dark, only a dim oil lamp flickered. Ejoma stood at the doorway. She said nothing, simply stepped aside, as if inviting him in. Obina entered. That night was the last time anyone saw him alive. The next morning, his body was found in the village pond, pale, shrunken, eyes wide open, and his chest hollow, where his heart should have been. There was nothing. In his hand was a bracelet, silver, old-fashioned, etched with 3 faces. Now, Ejoma was never seen during the day. Only at night a strange glow shimmered near the hut, not of fire, but something otherworldly. Sometimes people heard women laughing, but it wasn't quite human. Old Mama Choma, the eldest in the village, warned, that girl is no longer one. 3 spirits speak through her now. One innocent, one cunning, and one murderous. And they all seek faces. Then came a dreadful night. Screams filled the village. People locked doors in panic. Someone saw not smoke, but blood rising from the hut's roof. The village elder, Okri, declared, this village now belongs to her. We act, or we all die. 4 brave young men, Kola, Jide, Tommy, and Ode, stepped forward. They vowed to uncover the hut's dark secret. They carried talismans gifted by Baba Emla, a wandering sorcerer who had vanished 15 years ago. They tied the charms around their necks, smeared ash on their foreheads, and approached the hut at midnight. The night was utterly still. The moon was hidden behind clouds. Only the sound of footsteps echoed. When they reached the door, it creaked open on its own. Inside, darkness. But somehow, their eyes adjusted. The walls were sticky, like blood or graveyard mud. At the center stood a mirror. When Kola looked into it, his reflection began to change, first into Ejoma, then Obina, then a black mist. Suddenly, Ejoma appeared from a shadowy corner. Her face was no longer as the village remembered. Now, it showed 3 faces at once, one innocent, one cunning, and one dark, With hollow eyes and a twisted, poisonous smile, "You came to see my faces," she asked. "Now, your faces will be mine." By morning, the hut had vanished. The land was flat and green, as if nothing had ever stood there. The 4 boys were gone. All that remained was the mirror, and within it, only Ejoma's face could be seen. The villagers placed the mirror in the shrine. The imam wrapped it in charms, and prayers were said for Baba Emla's return. Life carried on, nervously, cautiously. But then, NK returned. NK, Baba Emla's apprentice, returned from the jungle after years, long hair, bone necklace, and a black staff. He had heard the stories. He knew something was unfinished. "It's not over," he told the imam. "She's inside the mirror now. We must seal it, or she will consume everything." NK sat before the mirror for 7 nights and 7 days, praying. Each night, Ejoma's image appeared, sometimes innocent, sometimes sly, sometimes monstrous. On the 8th night, under the full moon, NK recited the final prayer and reached to shatter the mirror, but it didn't break. Its surface melted, like liquid, and a hand emerged. Ejoma's hand, pale, cold, alive. NK slammed his staff into the ground and cried. "The face you wear, I erase. No one shall name you. No mirror shall show you. Become forgotten. Become shadow." A bright flash. The mirror shattered, not with a sound, but into silent, dust-like fragments. Ejoma's hand disappeared, along with her voice, her presence, her deadly enchantment. From that day, no one in EBUBE ever spoke her name again. The mirror was never restored, but even now, when the moon is full and the jungle wind whispers, some say if you look into still water, you might see a face not Ejoma's. But the 4th face, the one that came out and never went back in,